What is up guys, this is V-Way, former top global and Kagura, and for today's video, we will be answering the most controversial question everybody's talking about in different platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and most especially TikTok, debating whether Kagura is better than Lunox. This is a controversial topic, especially to those glazers out there, if that's how you guys call them, so that you all can have a perspective coming from a former top global himself. To properly comprehend and provide an objective conclusion, we need to understand first and compare the hero's kit, their item versatility, and lastly, their strengths and weaknesses. Hero's kit are sometimes the other term for describing what does your hero have to offer. So to better explain their mechanics, let's divide this into 4 parts. This includes the role, difficulty, laning, and teamfights and objectives. First, let's talk about the role. Kagura and Lunox are both mages that have different specialty and playstyle. Kagura focuses more on poking and finishing enemy heroes from afar, while Lunox punishes enemies with her heavy damage and sustain. Well, that's what Muntun is trying to tell us. In my opinion, it is much suited for Kagura to have an assassin trait instead of finisher because of her ability to target backline with ease and high mobility on top of that. I guess the 2 things that are stopping Muntun from changing that is from her poking capabilities and crowd control that is very much inconsistent compared to other mages. Many patches ago, Lunox had a different passive that completely changes how we play her as of today. Before, her passive used to convert her cooldown reduction into hybrid defense or magic penetration depending on her state. But what makes it different from back then is her forms. Both her states have maximum 2 charges compared to the current that we only have 1, meaning to say her playstyle is much more linear and forgiving compared to her old counterpart where mistakes are easily punishable. Kagura, on the other hand, is a very hard mage since her release. All of her skills require timing, combo mastery, and especially precision. The reason I highlight precision on her kit is because all of her skills relies on the placement of her umbrella. One mistake or one wrong combo heavily impacts Kagura's damage output and survivability.
Unfold, perfume wafts, and here I finally behold the power of a god.
Now let's move on to laning. Lunox and Kagura can be played aggressively at the laning stage of the game, the latter being the weaker. Though Kagura have shield and poke, Lunox still overpowers her with spammable sustain and damage, while Kagura relies on her skill rotation. Meaning to say, if 2 happens to be in both opposing sides, Kagura would have a hard time clearing the wave, responding to objectives and skirmishes, and worst case scenario, being gapped. Whenever I play against Lunox, I always have my roamer to help me clear the wave because it is really impossible to contest against her. In teamfights, Kagura players should be looking for these 3 things to carry out their role properly. First is to kill their carries, second, to poke front lines, third is to set or follow up for a set. Though Lunox also carries the same objectives as Kagura, there's an additional things you can do in a teamfight, and that is to kill their front lines. Lunox is a battle mage, and interestingly, her spammable skill Chaos Assault deals % base damage according to maximum's HP. But that's not what makes her horrifying. Her ability to dive in a teamfight, one-shotting backlines and able to retaliate is one of the most annoying and frustrating things to deal against. In objectives, Kagura's main task is to poke or zone enemies, while Lunox's job is to also zone enemies or fast clear the lord depending on the situation. To summarize their kit, Kagura is good at poking and bursting backline heroes that requires mechanical skills for minimal mistakes, while Lunox on the other hand is pretty much straightforward if you think of it in face value. She heavily relies on her positioning to deal insane amount of damage to either tanks or either squishies. Item versatility refers to how adaptable heroes building different items for different situations. Best examples here are against tanks. There are 3 items specifically made to counter tanks. These are Glowing Wand, Wishing Lantern, and Divine Glaive. What makes Lunox viable at this point is her adaptability to pick items yet does not undermine her damage. Kagura on the other hand struggles a lot in her build path against tanks matchup, especially the nerf on Glowing Wand and the Wishing Lantern. Let's say for example that both of them are dealing with a tank matchup. Supposing they are the only magical hero and all of their teammates are physical damage type, and they are dealing against with Alice, Glue, Akai, Fredrin, and Melissa as their enemies. This would be their itemization, and you can see that Kagura really struggles to itemize against that team composition. Lantern's passive does not give Kagura justice without enough magical power to sustain it, while Lunox can proc it easily with her Chaos Assault. Now let's move on to their strengths and weaknesses. First, let me provide certain similarities that I observed to which word they are good or bad against. Kagura and Lunox both share the same strength against squishy heroes and providing burst damage. They also have the same problem when it comes to sustaining their mana. I also noticed that their strengths and weaknesses somehow complements each other in certain ways. Kagura is good against crowd control heroes while Lunox are having a hard time against them. Lunox is especially good at melting tanky heroes while a full rotation of Kagura's combo only tickles them. Lunox's second skill also gives her an advantage in taking down objectives such as Lord and Turtle, while Kagura provides control and vision over them. Now let's move on to their inherent strengths and weaknesses. Kagura is good at poking but bad against mobile heroes and invincibility skills. Lunox on the other hand have shorter cooldown, so she is good at skirmishes and team fighting but requires a good positioning. So in conclusion, Kagura and Lunox have a different role and playstyle unique to each of them. This is a question that I find absurd to begin with. I believe that no mage is better than the other. Unless Moonton begins to provide quality of life changes like the nerf that they've done to Glowing Wand and Wishing Lantern. Yikes. Anyway, the real question should be something along the line like, can Kagura beat Lunox? Which is definitely a no. Lunox is a hard matchup and Kagura players should be mechanically skilled just to win against her. But you know, sometimes being good is not even enough because she straight up whoops Kagura's ass in a 1v1.